I just moved, but I didn't move here for the hype. I wasn't chasing some up-and-coming zip code or trying to flex a South Tampa address. I moved because my family needed more. More space, more calm, more life, without giving up everything we loved about being in Tampa. And we found it. This Tampa neighborhood, it may not be on all the top 10 lists. It's not flashy, but it's the first place in a long time that I felt like home the second we pulled in. So if you're out here trying to figure out where to land in Tampa, especially if you're tired of the chaos or chasing trends, this one's for you. I'm breaking down why we chose this spot, what it's really like living here, and why I think more people should consider this direction. Stay tuned. When most people think about moving to Tampa, they go straight to the usual suspects: South Tampa, Hyde Park, maybe West Chase if they're feeling suburban but still want the name recognition. But here's the truth. Those areas get all the shine because they're loud. They've got rooftop bars, coffee shops on every corner, and a vibe that looks great on Instagram. But what they don't always have: breathing room, peace, a place that feels settled.
And that's why I started looking north, just a little outside the buzz. Carrollwood wasn't on my original radar. It's not flashy, it's not new, but once I started digging, it checked boxes I didn't even know were missing. Space, parks, restaurants, without 45-minute waits. And that rare mix of we're established, but still evolving. And then I actually stepped foot into Carrollwood's village for the very first time, and it didn't feel like I was moving out of the city. It felt like I was leveling up. Now, I know what you're thinking. That's great, Adam, but where even is Carrollwood? What's around it? What's the distance to the airport? Or is it even really connected? Location is everything, and Carrollwood, it plays its position way better than people give it credit for.
So here's the deal. Carrollwood isn't loud. It's not trying to be the next big thing. But the moment you pull off Del Mabry, the whole vibe changes. The traffic slows, the trees get taller, and suddenly you're in a part of Tampa that feels like it's been here forever, and for good reason. This is Northwest Tampa, right in the perfect middle ground. 15 minutes to the Buck Stadium, maybe 25 minutes to downtown, 15 to the airport if you hit green lights just right, and if you've got a beach day in mind. If you time it right, you could be on the sand in under 45 minutes. But here's the difference. You're not stuck in traffic just trying to grab a gallon of milk. You're not weaving through high rises to get your kid to school. You're moving, you're flowing, living. The roads, they just make sense out here. Del Mabry runs right through the heart of it all. Veterans Expressway cuts across the top. You're connected without being consumed by the city. You've got Publix, Sprouts, and Whole Foods right in your close bubble. Restaurants close enough to hit it in flip-flops, and it's not uncommon for Saturday errands to turn into an impromptu lunch date. Gyms, covered. Crunch, Orange Theory Fitness, yoga studios for that slow breath, high sweat kind of vibe. This area eats well too. Sacred Pepper feels like a South Tampa vibe without the parking stress. Then Noble Crust, well, that's the we've got a little of everything type of menu. And Terra and Cepas, every local should know about this if you want killer authentic Peruvian cuisine, and it's the perfect for date nights.
And what I love, what I really noticed when I moved here is that Carrollwood doesn't feel like it's trying to impress. It's just doing its thing, clean, consistent, local. It doesn't need neon signs or valet stands. It's got roots. And hey, if you're watching this thinking, you know, this actually feels like my kind of spot, that's exactly what we help people figure out. So whether you're moving from across the country or just ready for something new right here in Tampa, my team and I can walk you through it all. And don't think we're too busy. Reach out anytime. Our info's down below, and we want to be your Tampa real estate team of choice. Now, next up, I'm going to show you what life looks like out here, street by street, home by home, because once you see the lots, the layouts, and how people actually live here in Carrollwood, it starts to get real for you.
All right, so I got real lucky. I caught Jason out here before his round of golf, old-time friend of Tampa, born and raised in Tampa.
Yeah.
And, I just want to ask you for 2 seconds for the folks. Why'd you choose Carrollwood out of all the communities to live? Because we just helped you get a home here.
Yeah, absolutely. I have a 5 and 10-year-old, and as you can see, you caught me right before a round of golf here. My son plays golf. We got a pool. It's a golf cart friendly community. Just a wonderful place to have family, friends, and a lot of us live here now. So hanging out, hop, skipping, and jump to each other's houses.
There you go. Thank you, bud.
Yeah, man. Cheers.
Carrollwood isn't some cookie cutter, one style fits all type neighborhood. This place has range. You've got 70s ranches with real character, classic 2 stories tucked under full grown oaks, mid-century Florida styles with massive screen patios, and yeah, a few modern builds peppered in there too. But here's the real story.
People don't leave. Like seriously, once someone gets into Carrollwood, they dig in. They remodel, they upgrade, they pass it down, which means inventory stays tight. And when something does pop up for you, you better move on it. And that's opens the door for opportunities. Some of the best buys here aren't brand new. They're the ones with good bones, tucked onto an oversized lot with room to breathe and add value. Maybe it needs new floors, maybe a kitchen refresh, but you're not buying a house. You're buying into a neighborhood that holds its value and never tries to chase trends.
Visually, this place is a vibe, street curved with intention. No endless grids, just canopy drive landscape walkways and front yards that actually look like someone cares. You've got Carrollwood Village Park right in the heart of it all, walking trails, basketball courts, splash pads for the kids, and even a skate park. And not just some patch of grass with a slide, we're talking full-blown community designs. You can walk your dog here in the morning, hit tennis in the afternoon, and catch live music at dinner over at the clubhouse in the evening. It's this weirdly perfect mix of established and alive. Nothing feels stale, but nothing feels chaotic either. And when I say it felt like home the second we pulled in, this is the part I'm talking about. Tree-lined streets, real neighbors, space to stretch out without feeling isolated, in parks to take the kids to. But here's the real test of any neighborhood, how it fits into your actual day-to-day. Now let's zoom in for a second, because Carrollwood doesn't just look good on paper, it functions. And that's what matters when the dust settles and you're living day to day. Starting with schools. This area's got some of the most respected private options in Tampa. Corbett Prep and Carrollwood Day School are both right here. These are places families intentionally move to, not places you end up by default. Well-rated, well-rounded, and within a stress-free drive. Now, coffee lovers. This one's personal. There's a spot right in Carrollwood Village, literally walking distance if you're in the neighborhood, called the Perfect Press. It's part tea-bar, part espresso counter, part micro hangout, and it's easily one of my favorite low-key finds. This place simply does it right. I mean, they even give you a little biscotti cookie with every coffee, and it's those small touches that make it one of my favorite spots to post up on an afternoon, open my laptop, and just get a couple of hours of work in. And for that clean, modern vibe, Foxtail Coffee is just around the corner and always reliable for a quick grab and go. Grocery runs in the area? You got no problem. You've got Publix for the essentials, Whole Foods for more organic options, Sprouts and Fresh Market for produce, and when you want a premium selection, Wild Forks is in the mix too. It's this specialty spot for high quality frozen meats and seafood. I stock up there every 3 weeks or so with top end selections like ribeye cap, bison burgers, and king salmon. Those are my go-tos. And if you're into holistic living, Abby's is a dream. Think organic snacks, supplements, and a cooked food section that low-key competes with the restaurant meals. It's got that I came in for a protein bar but left with a full dinner kind of energy. On the fitness side, Carrollwood has everything you could want to. Crunch gives you the affordable full gym experience. Orange Theory is dialed in for that high tempo workout. Studio 108 is your yoga zone for mind and body reset. And Amped Fitness, it's sleek, it's modern, and it's open 24/7. And yes, there's CrossFit personal training gyms and your big box brands too. And when it comes to food, this isn't a place where you settle. This is a place where you find your spots and you have options for date nights. Sacred Pepper brings that upscale vibe without the fuss. It's date night ready. Esposito's Italian, it feels like you just got adopted by someone's Nona, and the owner Paul will greet you right when you walk in the door. It was voted Best Italian Restaurant Tampa 3 years in a row, and it's right here in Carrollwood. Terra Cafe that I mentioned earlier in this video, it hits you with bold Peruvian fusion flavor that I'll have you post in your plate before your first bite. And how about Michael's Grill? It's a classic Carrollwood institution, and now they've got live music on some evenings, which just adds to the vibe. And for tacos with some modern edge, Agave Social is the go-to. It's a scratch kitchen with an elevated modern twist on tacos and a craft tequila bar. I mean, it'll be in business forever because that's a winning combo.
And this is what I mean when I say Carrollwood doesn't need to be flashy. It's consistent, it's comfortable, and it fits. Day in, day out, it has everything you could want right at your fingertips. But I want to dial it in even tighter. Errands, commutes. How fast can you knock out your to-do list on a random Tuesday? Because the real wins, they're in the everyday. So here's the truth. Any neighborhood can look great on a weekend walkthrough, but what about your Tuesday at 4:45 p.m. when you're trying to grab dinner, swing by the pharmacy, and dodge traffic trying to make soccer practice? That's the test, and Carrollwood, it passes with room to spare. The layout here makes errands feel almost efficient, like you've never more than 10, maybe 12 minutes from anything you actually need. Grocery stores, you're covered. Last minute birthday gift from Target, easy. Emergency vet run or pediatrician check-in, It's right here.
The main arteries, Dale Mabry, Fletcher, and Ehrlich, all cut clean through the neighborhood, and they're built for flow. Not sprawling like the burbs, not jammed up like the urban core. You can get across Carrollwood faster than some people get across their apartment parking lot in Channelside. Commute-wise, it's one of those rare Tampa areas where you're close to everything but don't feel stuck in anything. You can be on Veterans Expressway in minutes, heading to downtown, the airport, or even St. Pete if you're crossing the bay. Need to hit I-275? You're right there. Whether you're work remote or downtown or halfway to Clearwater, you've got options that don't drain your soul.
Even stuff like takeout or quick grocery runs, this is the kind of neighborhood where you can make a list, hit 3 spots, and still be home before your podcast episode ends. And I can't stress this enough. That kind of frictionless living is something you don't notice until you finally have it.
This is another spot where Carrollwood really sneaks up on you because people hear suburb and they think boring, cookie cutter, nothing to do, but Carrollwood flips that on its head. It's calm, yeah, but it's not quiet in the way you think. It's alive, just at a slower, more intentional pace. Let's start with Carrollwood Village Park. This is the crown jewel. Massive walking trails, a legit skate park, splash pad for the kids, open air fitness stations, basketball courts, shaded playgrounds, you name it, and people actually use it. Morning walks, weekend play dates, solo runs after work, it's all happening right here. But it's not the only green space. Scattered through the neighborhood, you've got smaller parks, pickleball courts, shaded rest areas. It's all built into the layout of this community. These aren't just set pieces, they're part of the daily routine here. Now, let's talk local gems. At the center of it all is the Carrollwood Country Club, a full 27-hole golf course with tree-lined fairways, tennis courts, and one of the better-kept secrets, the Clubhouse Restaurant. You don't have to be a golfer to enjoy it. Residents come for dinner, lunch, and even weekend brunch. My neighbor asked us to dinner the other day, and we all hopped in golf carts and rode up there for an early dinner with the kids. It was a perfect, easy, impromptu dinner plan, especially since it was one of those days where we didn't have dinner planned out so well for the kids. Then there's the Carrollwood Cultural Center, a true bonus in the area. Live theater, painting classes, jazz concerts, dance recitals, it's all happening just down the street. It's the kind of place where you'll see the kids rehearsing on one side of the building and retirees learning pottery on the other. It gives the area soul and something else to do. Plus, they have weekend markets with food trucks that are fun to pass by every now and then. The whole setup, it just feels intentional. Shaded sidewalks wind through the village. You see families biking to the park, couples walking to get coffee, neighbors chatting mid-dog walk. It's not built for speed, it's built for connection. It reminds me of old Tampa a tad bit, where everyone sort of just knows everyone. And when the weather's on your side, and it usually is, you're outside, not just because you can be, but because you want to be. But is Carrollwood really right for you? Let me give you the no fluff, what works and what doesn't version, and you can decide for yourself.
So who is Carrollwood really for? It's for people who've done the noise and the novelty and are ready for something that just works. If you've got family and want tree-lined streets with cul-de-sacs and parks you actually use, this hits the mark. If you're working remote or running your own thing and want peace without being isolated, you'll feel at home fast. And if you've outgrown the scene, but still want access to great food, clean gyms, walkable coffee, yeah, this is your zone. It's not trying to be trendy, it's built to last. And for a lot of people, that's exactly what they're looking for. But let me go ahead and break down exactly why we made the move and how this neighborhood delivered more than we expected.
No neighborhood's perfect, and Carrollwood isn't trying to be, but it's incredibly well balanced. So here's the breakdown, no fluff. First off, location with room to breathe. You're central without being congested. Downtown, airport, beach, it's all within reach, but you don't live in the middle of the chaos. You've got established charm, mature trees, larger lots, curvy streets, actual personality. It doesn't feel like it was built last week because it wasn't. There's also real community here. Parks, trails, golf, the cultural center, even the local coffee shops, everything is set up to pull you outside your house and into the neighborhood. Then there's the value. Not a ton of turnover here, which means homes are held longer. Equity builds. And if you land a fixer with good bones, that's a big upside in a very stable pocket. Now, on the flip side, if you're looking for high energy nightlife, rooftop bars, or late night food trucks, this probably isn't your zone. It winds down earlier, and that's the point. Some homes are older, which means you'll see things like popcorn ceilings, dated kitchens, or a little deferred maintenance. You're not buying brand new, you're buying into location and community. But if you want turnkey, modern, across the board, that's not what Carrollwood is offering. And depending on which part you land in, walkability varies. Carrollwood Village, it's tight and connected, but other pockets sprawl out more. You'll need to know where you're at. Also, you have options with schools, but it can be a mixed bag, and often residents choose private schools because they're highly rated in the area. But honestly, for most people who are tired of the fast pace, the overpaying, and the constant traffic, those cons feel more like trade-offs. It's all about what you value the most. But at the end of the day, it's all about fit. And Carrollwood, it's not trying to be everything. It's just really good at being what it is. So let's talk about who this place is actually built for, because if it clicks with your lifestyle like it did with me, it might just feel like home the minute you pull in. So why did I move here? Honestly, it came down to one word: balance. I lived closer to the city, loved the vibe, loved the energy, but eventually the pace and living on the grid wasn't for me anymore. What I needed was space, calm, and something that felt more settled, not boring, just built for real life. And having kids, all of it was important for, honestly, all of us. And Carrollwood gave us everything without giving up the good stuff. We still hit great restaurants, still get downtown when we need to, but day to day, it's just easier, it's smoother, and it just fits what we need at this point in our life. If you're moving to Tampa and you want a place that feels like home on day one, not something you have to grow into, this is a neighborhood worth seeing up close. Because that moment when you drive in and your shoulders drop a little, you hit up the park, your kids find friends instantly, and in the morning when you just hop in your golf cart and scoop up your coffee at the neighborhood cafe, that's when you know. If this feels like your kind of spot, or maybe you're still not sure where to land in Tampa, we'd love to help. Whether you're local and leveling up or relocating from across the country, my real estate team is here to walk you through it. Neighborhood by neighborhood, no pressure, just straight up advice from people who live it and love it. Shoot us a message anytime. All the info you need is down below. And if you want to keep exploring Tampa like a local, check out this playlist right here. We've got deep dives on neighborhoods, hidden gems, and everything you need to make your move with confidence. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.